All right. Welcome to the NFL Week 15 betting show featuring Brian Kirshner. Brian, thank you for being here. Happy to have you.
Dude, I miss podcasting. I miss, getting all set up, going into my parents' basement and talking sports. So I really appreciate the invite, and I'm very excited to talk this NFL slate. And
Yeah, let's get into it. Any takeaways from last week? What was your biggest take from last week?
I would say my
I know you
biggest
got some.
takeaway was that you just went 8-0, just swept the board. Come
Yeah.
on, just absolutely an excellent NFL week. I'm really proud of you. I know you
We're heating
needed
up.
it,
We're heating
so
up. We're
I
heating up.
feel like the juju's kind of flowing, and we're gonna
I
parlay
know.
this into a good week 15 in the NFL. But I
Yeah.
would say my number one takeaway. I think the Bills are just toast. I think the
I
Bills are
don't know, but I
so
don't know if they're
done.
toast. I don't know if they're toast,
I think they're
dude.
toast. I think they're horrible. I don't think that they are as good as everyone's hyped them up to be. They've had a bunch of horrible losses, and I don't really see them turning it around. So
this
my
is
biggest
a
takeaway: Bills horrible.
this is a massive, massive, massive get right week for the Bills because they're playing my favorite team in the Panthers, and I think they're going to absolutely kill them,
Yeah,
like
I
destroy them.
couldn't disagree with you more there.
You think the Panthers are going to keep it close?
I mean, we'll get to it, but I can't lay 10 and a
We
half
will get
points
to
with
it.
the Bills.
Okay.
Cannot.
Yeah. And any other take? What's your thoughts on Urban Meyer?
I I'm not a huge college football guy. I never have been. So I never was huge on Urban Meyer. And then
Mm-hmm.
he just had so many storylines surrounding him, and it's that's what gets him fired. It just kind of weird to me because he did all this other shit, and this team was horrible, and
Yeah.
he was caught with an 18-year-old girl, and he was just a bad coach, and all the reports out of the locker room were just so bad. And then it comes out as he kicked a kicker, and it's he's fired for that. I mean, out of all the
Right.
things, I mean, why is that the thing that broke it? But I mean, I guess I understand.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was a huge Florida Gators fan when I was younger, so I followed Urban Meyer. He left suddenly, said he needed to do dad things and husband things, and then a year later took the Ohio State job, went fine, and then he got involved. It wasn't him, but he kind of brushed under a sexual assault case. And then he went to the NFL and this happened. But in his tenure in college, whenever he lost the game, because he was at a elite school, so he only lost once a year, he basically cried and made a huge deal out of it. And it was the end of the world when he lost. So that's why I was thinking he's going to the NFL. He's going to lose games
Yeah,
every week, especially in the Jaguars. I don't know how he's going to do it. And clearly it's been a mess, but that was that. You ready to get into this week's NFL?
I'm definitely ready.
All right. Chiefs, 3-point favorites, heading to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers. Huge game tonight. Huge game tonight. What are you thinking?
I'm excited. I'm very excited. Thursday night games haven't always been great. We're getting two teams. I like this conference. I like this matchup. I think the most interesting thing to note here is that the total opened at 49.5, and it's now
Mm-hmm.
at 54. Totals do not move that much,
Yeah.
in a span of 1 week. And it was 52 early. It's 54. I'm it's very surprising. And I wanted to take the over because this very much seems just an over game that you want to bet. DJ rule number one, you have to bet every single primetime game. I think the Chiefs destroy them tonight. I think that the Chargers are a public dog, and I think the Chiefs are finally at a point in the season where they're gonna start to roll teams going into the playoffs. Chiefs have their number historically. I love the Chiefs -3 tonight. I wish the over was a little bit lower, but I like the Chiefs, and I don't like it at 54. I just don't. It's just very high for me, and a lot of things have to go right, and that's what happens when you get on some of these high totals.
Yeah. Luckily, I got in at 50 earlier in the week. I'm liking where that stands now,
Yeah,
obviously, with the number moving. I like where I'm at 50. And I'm leaning Chiefs -3, or it was 3.5, 2.5. That number, I was leaning the Chiefs to cover earlier in the week. I still am. Chiefs are without one of their best pass rushers, but the Chargers are without Rashawn Slater, who's one of the better left tackles, not even rookie, better left tackles in all of the league. So I feel like that cancels itself out. I don't know. I'm probably going to pass on the side and just root for the
okay,
over, because rooting for an over is just fun to do. But
yeah,
my lean is with Kansas City, I already played the over 50. So that's where I'm going on that game. I think it's going to be an awesome game, fun game, a lot of implications in the AFC West and in the AFC playoffs going forward.
Yeah, the thing that kind of like has me questioning the over a little bit, at least at this 54 number, is that the Chiefs defense has been excellent these
They've been
past few
coming on.
games. They've been letting up not a lot of points. And, if that happens, then I just don't see this game getting to 55 points.
Right.
I'm sure the Chiefs can put up a bunch, but I'll be interested to see how it goes. But I definitely like the Chiefs to cover the number tonight.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun watch. I'm excited. So we'll move on to the next game. This is a crazy one. Raiders are now 3.5-point favorites in Cleveland. Cleveland's down to their third string quarterback, most likely. Baker's most likely not playing. He still has a chance, but it's seeming like he's not going to. This opened at Browns minus 6.5.
Yeah.
And now look, you see what it is. So this is going to be crazy. I luckily got the Raiders first half money line first half money line minus 115 like 3 hours ago. And I beat the number on that too. So what are you thinking here?
I would say that you shouldn't bet on this game, just like in general.
Yeah.
Like if you're just like a casual, like I would just stay away from this game because there's so many question marks. And with an 8-point live movement, like it's just very tough to gauge and it's very hard to like Vegas obviously knows best, but I think that if I would have to take a side, I would definitely take the Browns just because we've seen
they're missing a lot of guys.
I know. No, I totally know. But like sometimes like key guys go out and then someone steps up. Like these guys are professional athletes. The Raiders have been horrible. Like the Raiders just have been really bad except for that Thanksgiving game. So I would probably lay the points with the Browns and hoping that their third string quarterback can help. But this is a game I would just stay away from. I would want no money betting on something with an 8-point live movement with all this COVID news.
Right. And I wasn't planning on betting this game, and I basically just did it off of all the noise. Maybe it'll come back to bite me, but it's literally a 1-unit play on Raiders first half money line. I think if the Browns are going to cover, I don't think they're going to come out crazy. I think they're going to have to, with all these backups, adjust over the game and figure out what's working, what's not working. So that's why I like the Raiders. And who knows, maybe it's just going to be a load of crap and the Browns will just cover the original 6.5, which wouldn't be out of the realm. But it is what it is. Back-to-back. If you cash tickets just on closing line value, I'd be the richest man in the world.
Yeah.
Like in every sport. So that's not how it works.
I see, like, I saw this thing on Twitter, like this guy's talking about how like he got like kicked out of books because like he always beat the closing number and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, these guys know way more about betting than me. Yeah. I'm like, what does it matter if you don't win? Like 2 times this year with the Cardinals games, the line moved like within 5 points and people had these crazy closing line value tickets and they didn't cash. It's like, what's like the point? Obviously, sometimes it definitely helps, but I feel like beating the closing number doesn't always pan out perfectly 100% of the time. But a lot of people, when they're gambling high volume and they're really crazy and like, you know, professional and stuff, it's all about numbers and like how things work and stuff like that. So I understand it, but sometimes like the closing number doesn't really matter.
You see how every single day I post those college basketball handicap lines?
Yeah.
So I'm doing that like 2 to 3 days in advance. I have the line set up, which allows me to get my bets in like as soon as they come out. Yeah. And I beat the closing lines like 99% of the time. And I'd say that variance in closing line to bet I have makes a difference like literally 5% of the time. It's like so meaningless. And so, all right, we'll move on. Another should be fun game. This is Saturday night, I believe. Patriots just keep winning, keep just doing everything great. Head to Indianapolis, 2-point favorites. I was hoping that this would be closer to a pick 'em, but I think this spread's right on. I'm riding with the Colts.
This is stinky line. This line makes no sense. The Patriots are red hot, top of the AFC, and they're 2-point underdogs against the Colts, who have a couple good. And the line makes no sense. It's a stinky line. Stu Feiner, my idol, my love, would say you lay the points with the Colts. So I understand people are going to want to bet the Colts because people are just smarter and they understand lines. And if you see something that doesn't make sense, you go the other way. I don't know. I kind of like the Patriots. I think that people like to bet against the Patriots.
Yeah.
and people like don't want to believe that they're good after losing Tom Brady and all these things, and they've done it with this rookie quarterback. But I don't know. I think this might be one of the times where the line is wrong. But the Colts are a team I'm pretty high on, and I think could make a playoff run. And I think their perception in the market and to people is that they're worse than they actually are. So, it's a stinky line. I'm looking forward to watching it. I would probably lean Patriots, but I totally understand that since the line makes no sense, you should lay the points with the Colts.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna say this is my only 2 unit on the card, but right now it is my only 2 unit bet on the card. Colts minus 2.5, actually.
Two and a
So
half.
you're on the Patriots. I'm on the Colts. We'll see how that ends up. Well, you didn't bet him, right? Did you?
Dude, I have been forcing action because like without golf, it's just like hard for me to like not bet
Well, I know
him. I
this is
just
the biggest event of the week for you is coming up
I
tomorrow.
can't wait. I love Tiger outright, like plus 550 with the sun. I think that's a really good bet, good value. But yeah, it's tough with no golf. I'm trying to like legitimately limit my exposure because like I kind of am realizing I know nothing about anything but golf, and I kind of don't really know anything about golf. So it's tough. It's tough. But I have the 150 a play, 150 free play every week. Like,
Let me
how
get
are
on
things
that.
with our bookie? Is he good? Is he
Paid
good
me
to
on
you?
Monday. Paid me
Hey, how
on
much
Monday.
did he pay a decent amount? A couple units?
250. 250.
Good. I'm glad. That was from me.
Yeah. Was it? Yeah, it probably was. All right. Move on to the first game on Sunday. Cardinals off of a 7-point loss. What?
No, nothing.
Cardinals off of a 7-point loss. Head to Detroit. They are laying 12.5. Don't really care much for this game. I expect the Cardinals to get right and roll. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think this is the perfect spot for the Cardinals to come out and beat up on probably the worst team in the NFL. It's a lot of points, obviously, maybe tease them down a little bit. I think this is a nice teaser spot for the Cards because, again, we've had our conversation on teasers and how they don't actually work sometimes, and you might get a little too greedy. You just see a 6-point favorite, you want to tease it down. It's that easy. But I think the Cardinals this week, they're not losing this game. They'll probably win by more than a touchdown. Therefore, I like the Cardinals in a teaser this week.
Couldn't agree with you more. I don't really think we need to put too much emphasis on that game. I think that's pretty straightforward. Cardinals get right spot. We'll move on to the next game. Another big spread. Cowboys are on the road, head to MetLife. A lot of points for a divisional game. And is Danny Dimes back? I'm not sure.
I'm not
No,
sure.
he's not.
No, I don't
He's
think
not.
he's playing.
No. Well, with that being said, there's no reason why the Cowboys shouldn't roll. Yeah, Danny Dimes is out. He's out for the season.
Yeah, I got a lock for this game. Love
What's
the
up?
over 44. Really like this over. I think the Giants are a team that even when they get blown out, they can put up points. And I think the Cowboys are very much an over team, have been more so earlier in the season, but I think the Cowboys are an over team. I think this total's a little low. And I think that, sometimes divisional matchups you want to take the under, but I really like this over. I think it's low. The Giants put up points in blowout losses. I like this over.
Don't hate that at all. I really do like that. I'm not sure if I'm going to get there, but definitely would lean over with you. All right, here's the game we were teasing earlier. You hate the Bills, my favorite team, the Carolina Panthers. I don't think they're going to cover this spread, but like I'm not going to get involved with it. This is just an ugly game. I feel like the Bills is like, all right, we just lost 2 straight games and games we could have won. Maybe not last week, but I mean, yeah, they could have at the end. But let's take care of business. We're back at home. Let's take care of business. What's your thoughts? I know you don't like them, but what's your thoughts?
So I went to college in Buffalo. Like I definitely have like an affiliation towards the Bills. Like I want them to be good. Like I like them. I'm a Giant and a Bills fan. Like I like both of these teams. So like beginning of the season, like I wanted the Bills to be good, and it looked like they were going to be. A lot of people were hyping them up preseason. They lost to the Chiefs in the playoffs last year, but had an excellent run. And I just don't see the same team from last year as this year. I think that they've just had a lot of ugly losses and not a lot of impressive wins. I mean, they have losses to the Steelers and the Jaguars, and they're really only an impressive win is against the Chiefs Monday night when the Chiefs were just completely lost, had nothing figured out. That's their only impressive win, in my opinion. Do you agree? Like,
no, yeah,
what do
you're
you
right.
think?
You're right. You're right, but I still think, like on the surface, it might look like that, but I still think they're a good team. Now that they don't have Tre'Davious White, who's arguably a top 3, top 5 corner, it's making a difference. Because they couldn't. I mean, they played the Bucks last week, but they couldn't really stop them till like late in the game. And I mean, they just lost to the what is it, the 1 seed in the AFC, and then like the defending Super Bowl champions. So like, I don't know. I'm not gonna put them under the bus yet. They got to go though. They got to go now
Yeah.
because it's leaning towards they're not gonna win the AFC East, which they probably should have. Like at least had hopes for preseason. So like, they're not a lock to make the playoffs. They got to go now, and like, if they're in, they could definitely make a run. So
Yeah.
I definitely am going to lean the Bills to cover this spread. And yeah, I'm not going to bet it, but I would lean for them to cover the spread, especially at home.
I totally understand this is a perfect spot for the Bills. Like, I'm sure like it's a sharp spot. I think people like the Bills. It makes sense. I do think that they're gonna win the game because they have to, and the Panthers are horrible. And the only reason I'm not like I'm hundo laying point with the Panthers is that Cam Newton is horrible. Like, Cam Newton is legitimately horrible.
I think Sam Darnold's coming back.
No, I'm not kidding. If Sam Darnold is playing, I am 1,000% laying this number with the Panthers.
Here's what the headlines say. I'll share the screen. He's cleared to play, but not cleared for contact, so he's not playing. He's definitely not playing. So maybe next week he's playing. So it's Cam. Okay. It's still Cam and PJ Walker, I guess, but don't really care because I hate those guys. All right, another one. You love the football team earlier in the week, and now you probably love me even more, even though they have literally no players. They might as well just like play with like high school players from DC because there's no one on the team left. They all are sick in bed. What
is this line? Like, what is this line?
Right?
This line is unbelievably crazy.
It keeps going. It keeps going up.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I would definitely lay in the points with Washington here. I mean, last week they almost covered against the Cowboys with, I think they definitely have less people now, and they definitely have some people out with COVID. Eagles are very hot and cold team this year. Eagles are very much so. They look excellent. They have a couple good wins. They put up a lot of points. Jalen looks excellent. And then the next week, they're absolutely horrible. Divisional game, over-unders 44. I'm not sure. I would probably lean under there, but I definitely would rather lay the points with the football team this week. And just even with all the COVID injuries and things of that nature, I would prefer Washington here.
Yeah, it's just every few hours we're getting more news on another Washington player is out with COVID, but I don't know. And with the news, the spread goes up another point. So
yeah,
I didn't touch this game. I leaned Washington when it was +4 earlier in the week, and we didn't know any of this news. So I'm just totally passing. No reason for me to spend money on something I don't really know what's going on in. We'll move on to the New York Jets head to Miami. Jalen Waddle just got placed on COVID reserve also. This is one of my other bets I've already placed. I got Jets +10. I really like the Jets this week. I think the Jets could win outright. I hate the Dolphins. What's your thoughts? You think I'm crazy?
Why do you like the Jets? Like, I don't disagree, but like what do you like?
It's more of me not liking the Dolphins.
Yeah, because this week, like we're talking, a lot of shitty teams are laying a bunch of points. And it's just like NFL, like I would just go the other way. But with the Jets, we're good. I love hating the Jets. I love hating the Jets. I just do. Last week, it just seems like a very profitable ongoing bet to just fade the Jets every week. But, it's the divisional game. The Jets are due for another, decent win. I think. So yeah, I have no problem with the Jets here. It's a lot of points. And again, it's a shitty team laying 10 points. You go the opposite way.
Yeah, I mean, the Jets are on the Dolphins are on like a 5-game win streak, I think. They beat the Jets, Texans, Giants, and Panthers. Like, people are saying, all right, the Dolphins are coming, but coming for what? They just beat the worst teams in the league. And I know they're playing the Jets again. I know it's hard to beat a team twice in the same year. I know it's the Jets, but they're feisty, they're fighting. I really think they're a live dog here. I don't know. I could sound crazy on Sunday afternoon after this game, but I bet the Jets plus 10 as it made my card, and the way I'm shaping my cards these past 4 weeks after getting crushed like in the middle of the season, I'm on 4 straight winning weeks, and they're just straight plays, no more fucking dumb parlays. So I don't know. I'm hot. Jets are. I'm liking the Jets this week. I think
Let's do it.
Jets plus 9.5. All right, we'll move on. This is just not a game that's this week. This was last week. Titans laying 1 in Pittsburgh. Under.
This line makes who do the Titans have out? This line makes no sense.
I don't know, dude. They're just so weird. I like it's so weird because I hate the Titans when they're favorites, and I love the Steelers when they're dogs.
No, Steelers as dog, like people love touting that. Like people love saying bet Mike Tomlin as an underdog.
It's true. It's just true.
Like I think it's true, and I don't know who they play.
But it's like a 1-point spread. Like that's like I wouldn't bet on.
Who was the better team, Jers? Who was the better team?
The Titans.
Easily. You take them. You take them. They're 1 point. You take the Titans here. I also want to preface, like, I'm not like a good, like, really NFL bettor. Like, I tell like people in NFL, like, it's hard for me. But me right now, you take the better team with the 1 point spread. This line makes legitimately no sense to me.
Yeah. And the Titans are like, even though they've looked kind of like shitty the past few weeks, they're still what? Like, they could still make the in the A, which is crazy to think about because they could easily be the 1 seed, then get killed the week after.
Yeah.
NFL is absurd this year, and I love it. I love it. Love watching it. It's been tough to bet, but it's been awesome to watch. So we'll move on to the game of the century. Texans are 3-point underdogs.
5. No, they're like 5 now with the.
It moved back down. It moved back down.
It moved back down.
Yeah, it went up to
that makes
5.5.
sense to me. That makes sense to me because I feel like he's not worth 2 points, and I think the Jaguars are so bad that you can't lay points with them, especially 5.5. And I think earlier in the week, I think a lot of people are like, "I'm taking the Texans. I like the Texans. I'm taking the Texans here."
Yeah, I Davis Mills is starting for the Texans, but still, like, I feel like the Jaguars shouldn't be favored by more than a field goal versus any team in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like, just simply based off the fact, even though they're home, they lost to the Texans in week 1, right? They got killed by them. I'm not sure. Yeah, they got killed by the Texans in week 1. So, I don't know. There's no reason that the Jaguars should be favored, and they got bet up to 5. I wish that this line was more closer to a pick 'em, and then the line moved in the other direction because I would have bet the Jaguars as dogs with an interim head coach. They'll just come out like crazy because that always happens. But just gonna pass this game. There's no reason anyone should really be betting this game. Maybe at the end.
Yeah, I wouldn't like advise betting on this game. Right. Obviously, under makes sense. But the thing about the Jaguars is that they do definitely have more talent than the Texans. Like they just do. I think this can be a lot of people are hyping up James Robinson to have a big week now that Urban Meyer's gone. So I think there's a world where the Jaguars can just run and James Robinson has a huge game and they could put up 21 points and that will probably be all it would take to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
The Texans are obviously horrible. I think this is a game you probably just stay away from.
Yeah. Wow. This is crazy. This is the first week in a long time. We've had 16 games. No buys this week. We got 5 or 6 games left. All right. Falcons head to San Fran. I like the 49ers. I think the 49ers are a good team, but I don't think they should be 10-point favorites to anyone in this.
I don't know. I don't agree. I think it's way too many points.
With that being said, I'm not going to bet the Falcons, but I just don't think that the 49ers should be close to 10-point favorites. They don't blow anyone out.
Yeah, they don't. They're over.
Yeah.
Falcons over team. Falcons are an over team. This total 46. I like the over here. I do like the over. I like betting the Falcons in over games. And I think that the Niners are more than capable to put up 25 points. I think their offense is rolling and they want to be playing well before they go into the playoffs. So I really like the over here at 46.
Yeah. So this is a weird one because people are probably going to be touting the 49ers and, I mean, for good reason. They could definitely cover late. It's really just two plays, 2 touchdowns to cover the spread. But I just feel like it is a bit too much. All right, we'll move on. Packers 5.5-point favorites head to Baltimore. Lamar's status still unknown. Packers are just immaculate against the spread this season and continue to be. Baltimore is a very hostile place to play and not an easy place to play. It's no Lambeau, but it's still a tough place to play in. If Lamar is in, I feel like the spread will be closer to 3.5. But I don't know. What's your thoughts here? If Lamar's not playing, the Packers should roll.
Yeah, this is like the really big question of the week, basically, and the whole game is basically determined on if Lamar Jackson plays or not. I think the Packers are a good team. The Packers are just one of easily the best teams against the spread, and it's profitable to just say, I don't really care about the spot. I'm just going to cover the number. You look at last week, down 14 points early. They still covered a double-digit spread. I mean, they're just a wagon against the spread. And then you might want to just lock it in now. Lamar doesn't play. This might move a point or two. You get some CLV or whatever. I like the Packers here because historically they're just good against the spread team.
Yeah. Packers should roll. I love how good they're doing. I have a 23-1 future on them. So I'm just like, keep rolling Packers. I think if it's been almost their year the past few years, but I really think this is their year because there's no like elite team that's a wagon. And if it is the Packers. So,
yeah, because this is the thing about the Packers is that they always lose in the NFC Championship. They're always
exactly
in the NFC Championship, and then they always lose. Is this the year that they're going to get over that hump? I hope so. I think they have the talent, and this year sets up better for them. But again, it's like, I don't know. Let's just say right now, I think it's pretty – okay, let's just say NFC Championship, Packers, Bucks. I think that's pretty probable. Repeat of last year. What do you make that line?
In Green Bay.
Would it be more likely that Green Bay would be the home team?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
so it's in Green Bay. The Packers are -3.
No, they can't be -3. Against the defending Super Bowl champions and Tom Brady, I don't see them being 3-point favorites. I think
that opens
like -1.5, too.
That opens -3, gets bet down to -2. That's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna clip that when it happens.
I would say yeah. I don't know, but I would be all over the Bucks in that game because I don't know. You just gotta bet Tom Brady.
Yeah, I mean, there's no argument there. All right, we'll move on to this game, and I just totally butchered this. The Bengals are the Broncos are 2.5-point favorites.
Yeah.
Broncos are 2.5-point favorites. Home versus the Bengals off of an overtime loss, close game. I love the Bengals. That's it. You love the Broncos. You love the Broncos.
No,
the Broncos are not.
No, I love the Bengals. This line makes no sense.
Yeah, it makes no sense. The Broncos.
No, this line makes legitimately no sense. I think the Bengals are a good team. I love the Bengals here. +2.5. I think they went outright. Take the points. I think they went outright.
Yeah. Something that I love here. I already bet the Bengals +3. I'm going to tell you that. I already bet the Bengals +3 for 1 unit. I'm thinking based off the total and like the spread, I'm thinking the Bengals team total is going to be 20.5 or 21, around 20. I am going, if it is 20.5, that might be a 4-unit play. So just monitor that, see what the Bengals team total opens up at. But like doing my like little math in my head early in the week, I think it's going to be 20.5. So we will see.
I just asked Andy. Andy wants to join the stream, but I feel like Andy is hundo on the Broncos.
I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna invite it.
He wants to link, but he said he's walking his dog. I don't know if he could join, but this line makes no sense. But I feel like because I tell Vegas refund, and he always just like takes the because I'm not paying whatever. It doesn't matter. I tell him I don't have to now. Now that I went on the football show, I might take my own picks, but I shouldn't. This line makes no sense. If Joe Burrow is starting, this line makes legitimately no sense at all. So I don't.
Because could you just imagine betting on Teddy Bridgewater as like a favorite against like a playoff team? Like no. The Broncos win by 30 now that we're just saying.
That's what I'm saying. This line stinks. It makes no sense. Broncos in a blowout. And on my book, it's juiced up.
What is it at?
On our book, the Broncos -2.5 is -120. It's juiced up.
So it'll probably go back to 3. That's
And
what I
I
got it
really
at.
like it at 3. It just this line makes no sense to me.
Did you
So,
get? Did you didn't bet it anything yet?
I have it. No, I'm trying to
Oh,
be chill, but I'm gonna use
okay,
my
okay.
free play for the week, on football. But I did bet the Chiefs in the over with
Put it
real
on
money.
Joshua Kelly. Put it on Joshua Kelly first touchdown, 23-1.
Okay, sure, I'm down.
Okay. All right. Seahawks this game had some crazy line movement today. It was 7, then it was down to 4.5, then it was back up to 5.5. What's your thoughts on this game?
I think that, and I know Andy likes the Seahawks this week, and he's fading the Rams off a win. I think that makes sense. I
The Rams are
is
good though.
They are. They are.
They're a
I
good
mean,
team.
is this the Sunday night? No, this is not the Sunday night
No,
game.
Vikings. I
I
mean,
don't know. Of all the
Saints
games
Bucks.
we've honestly talked about, this is really the one I really have not a lot of feel for. I don't want to touch it. I think that this Seahawks are very hard to figure out currently, and I think that the Rams off a loss, I mean off a big win, I don't know what they're gonna do. This is definitely a game I will not bet, and I really have no inkling on. I think Andy likes the Seahawks, so whatever. Maybe
Yeah,
that's fine.
I have the Rams on the same level as the Chiefs -3, close to pulling the trigger, but I don't think I'm going to, and I'm not even if they both cover, it is what it is. But I'm definitely leaning the Rams, especially another home game. Yeah, it was I guess a short week, but they're home again. They don't have Odell, I believe, but I mean that matters, definitely matters. But I don't know. I like the Rams here. I think the Rams cover because I don't really like the Seahawks defense, and I don't know. I think the Rams are good, and we haven't seen them roll yet. And if they're starting to get hot now, no one's going to be surprised because it's a good time to get hot. All right, move on to the potential round discussion game of the week. Saints head to the Bucks, 11-point favorites in Tampa. What do you like?
Over. I like the over. There are just certain teams, anytime I see them play, I'm just I like the over here. The Saints are one of them, and then the Bucks are a team you obviously always play over. So I like this over. We're hopefully going to be watching the game together in the city. Again, it seems like a lot of points. The Saints aren't that bad. Maybe they are. They just beat the Jets. Hard to gauge, but I like the over here. And I believe that there was a primetime game between these two teams, and the Bucks were heavy favorites, and the Saints won outright. So I don't know if
That wasn't primetime, but yes.
year. So I think on that, you might want to favor the Bucks. I mean, the Bucks they're wagon. I mean, they're a really good team. They're probably going to the Super Bowl again. They just beat the Bills. I have no reason to think that they're not going to come out firing in this game at home. But I definitely like the over more than either side here.
Yeah, and they're starting to feed Leonard Fortnite, and he's doing his thing. So
he's really good. He is
good at
playing
football.
excellent.
He's
And
good at
I
football.
mean, I don't know if the Saints have a great run defense, but Leonard Fournette, I mean, you probably could have got him on waivers in fantasy football, and he's just one of the top guys. So I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, when you get bored tonight, or if you're not doing anything later, watch Leonard Fournette's high school highlights. You won't be disappointed.
No, I'm down.
All right, we will move to the Monday Night Football. The Bears just love primetime. They live for primetime. So Vikings 5-point favorites in Chicago. What do you think?
Okay.
You think that it's time?
Well,
you're texting Andy back.
How much better?
Oh, I thought he was here.
How much better are the Vikings? I mean, how much better are the Packers than the Bears? I mean, the Vikings. Are they 7 points better?
On paper, yeah, but not on the football field. If you know what I'm saying.
I think that the Vikings are a team that play everybody close, but this line seems short to me. But at the same time, the Bears really did play well last week. I mean, I know they lost, but they put up a bunch of points and they came out hot. I would take the Vikings here because the Bears played well and put up a lot of points in a primetime game. It's a letdown spot for them. I don't like laying more than 3 points with the Vikings, but I do think that this would be a Vikings or nothing. And again, the over. I don't know. I like the over.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the Vikings just play close games. So like, I don't know if they're even capable of covering 5.5. Andy Lack is in the building. Welcome, good friend. Happy to have you.
Gentlemen, I didn't know we were doing this. What's going on?
Yeah, you were on with Rick. I didn't
Yeah,
want.
I listened.
It
was good. It was good. I got up to like the $2, and then I had to do. It was really good. Great pod.
Thanks, buddy. How are you guys doing? So, are you guys at the tail end?
Yeah, we want your locks of the week, but we got to give your picks before you tweet them out,
and then we'll go back and talk. You're gonna give us your games, and then we'll give it our input on those games. So give us 3. Give us 3 games, 3 picks.
You guys aren't gonna like them.
No, I know we might.
We might have agreed on them. I don't know.
I'd be very surprised if you like him. My favorite play of the week is the New York Giants plus 10.5.
Okay. All right.
Why are we liking the Giants, Andy?
First of all, as a Giants fan, I've seen this game 100 times. They have a tendency to play the Cowboys very tough over the course of the last as long as I've been a Giants fan. Now, that did not happen in game 1, right? The Cowboys, if you guys remember, I can't remember what week it was maybe 5 or 6, but the Cowboys absolutely steamrolled them. But this is a different Cowboys team, guys. I watched that Washington game from start to finish. I was not impressed whatsoever. Dak doesn't run anymore since coming back from his ankle injury. He just doesn't run. He's playing like a mediocre quarterback right now. He's not a top 15 quarterback in this league without the threat of running. Zeke is, God knows what's going on with Zeke. He's hurt.
Pollard's still hurt too.
Yeah. Pollard's still hurt. Listen, it's 11 points. It's a divisional game. Everyone thinks the Giants suck. No one's playing the Giants. The Cowboys are awesome. Give me the Giants in that spot. 11 points.
Ugly dog. I wouldn't expect anything less from you, Andy. I love it. I also like the over in this game. I'm just saying.
That's what Brian said. Sure. Brian said over or nothing. That was Brian's call.
I love the Giants. I'm absolutely laying points with the Giants. 100%. I'm taking them easy.
No, but Jers, can I get your input real quick? Do you think am I too low on this Cowboys offense? Because I watched that Washington game and I was really unimpressed. Of course, their defense really stepped up. Micah Parsons is a stud, but I have Dak and Zeke on like all my fantasy teams. So I actually watch a lot of Cowboys. Their offense hasn't looked good for like a month.
Agreed. And I think that starts and ends with Kellen Moore. I think he is doing a horrific job in the past 5 weeks on just calling plays that like they ran that boot on like, what was it, like 2nd and 5, Dak threw the pick 6. They're up by 14 late. There's no reason for that to happen. And Dak is hurt. There's no reason for him to be running. So he's proven to be a great OC and like talented. I think it really is him more than anyone else. I know there's a few guys hurt, but I think if he can get back to his old self, and people are trying to come at Dak, but I really think comes from Kellen Moore. So we'll see. But I do like the Giants, especially it's a divisional game. You're getting 11 or 10.5. So
I think Tyron Smith is done too, by the way.
That's huge.
So, best offensive lineman. Hang on one second. You guys talk. I just have to pick up my food.
Go get your food. Get your skirt steak, Andy.
Get your skirt steak.
We got it. We got to ask Andy about the ugly dogs and like what he just thinks about the overall board this week, because there are a lot of really weird, fishy lines, like more than any other week, in my opinion.
I would love to hear Andy's Jets case, because that was
I mean that would be he likes betting on bad New York teams. He picked the other one, so I don't know if he could go too, but I mean it's basically the same principle. Division game, a lot of points. So
yeah, so if you're still watching, just give us the 2 minutes. We have to
I'm sure
wait for Andy to.
Are you worried about like getting COVID and stuff? What's up with that? What's up with COVID stuff, man?
I'm not a COVID guy. I don't know. I don't know.
Like everyone in New York City has COVID right now from like SantaCon and shit. And I was supposed to go, I just didn't. And I just feel like everyone in the NFL's getting it. Like COVID seems to be like a big problem. I've never had it. I'm vaxxed, obviously, but just a little worrisome.
SantaCon is headed to the Jersey Shore this weekend, so I'd like to see him make an appearance.
Everyone is gonna get COVID. Like literally, it just seems like there's a SantaCon like Farmingdale, and like I want to go, but it's just like I don't like.
Dude,
holidays are coming up.
You're good, bro. I promise.
No, I'm scared. I'm like
Don't be scared.
I'm
Don't be
very
scared.
I could, end up in the
You're
ICU and then not be
23,
able to like.
Dude, you're 23, right?
Yeah, Andy.
Back.
Andy. Overall, I'm just wondering your like take on this NFL board because it's ugly. This is a week where a lot of teams that should not be favored by a lot of points are favored, and it's just a lot of the lines are not used to what we've been seeing in the NFL this year. Was this a harder week to handicap for you?
Super hard. In fact, the Giants is the only game that I've bet at this point. And to be honest with you, I usually make almost all of my bets on Sunday night. There's usually at least like 2 or 3 games that I have locked in on Sunday night. And then, maybe over the course of the week, if I'm seeing something, then I'll go with it. But there's 5 games on my short list that I haven't pulled the trigger yet that I'm going to add. I'm going to figure it out. I have to think about it more and talk to a couple more people, but I'm with you. I think it's a really difficult week, especially with the COVID shit too.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah. All right. I'll give you one. I'm going to want to hear what you're thinking about this one. It's not what I said earlier, Ryan. Personally, this is the biggest bet I've made this week so far. Colts laying 2. What's your thought?
Yeah, this is a perfect. Yeah. Need your thoughts on this game.
Okay, wait. So this is good because the Colts they're one of the teams. So maybe this will help me get over the edge. You're feeling this one, Jers?
Yeah. I locked in, I think 4 or 5 bets. I like to do everything by Thursday just for the show. So, and the Colts, I do everything 1 through 5 units, and the Colts are the only 2 unit I have so far, pending the Bengals team total, I might add. But I really like the Colts here. I like them. Both these teams are off a bye, and the Patriots, what have they done? If you look at their schedule, they've beat teams that they should beat. And the Bills, that fluky weather, I mean, I'm not buying it yet. If they go out and beat the Colts in Indianapolis, then you really turn my head. But I don't think that's going to happen. What's your thought?
Yeah, the Bills. So some of the sharp people that I talked to have, or the Colts have hammered the Colts. So, and that's why I think you've seen that line move a little bit. Is I think the Colts have a fair amount of sharp support now. Just because the sharps are on one side doesn't mean the bet's going to hit. But I believe the Patriots opened at -1, and now you're seeing Colts -2, -2.5 in some places. I agree with you. I think that the Patriots are a team that everyone seems to be very high on, and this is probably a good time to sell high on the Patriots coming off a nationally televised game where not only did they beat the Bills, which are a Super Bowl contender despite their record, they were a Super Bowl contender going into the season. They were thought of before that game, Brian. You could shake your head. I'm talking about public perception. I'm not, even if you don't, you called them yourself the pretty girl. The point I'm trying to make with the Patriots is they had a very public win over a good team that got talked about a lot because it was a coaching masterclass by Belichick where he only threw the ball 3 times. So I think this might be, when I initially looked at the game, I thought, okay, maybe this is time to sell on the Patriots. The problem is I haven't really done a ton of betting on the Colts this year. I've been out on Wentz for a while. I don't see it with him, but he's been playing a lot better. So maybe this is the time to hop back on. I love their running game. They have the best running game in the NFL.
Give the ball to your best players, and that's what they've been doing. Like it's not a crazy formula. You got a great running back in Jonathan Taylor. Yes, the Patriots have a good run defense and defense overall. Carson Wentz is going to have to be on his A game, but you got one of the best running backs in the league. Get him touches, get him the ball in the screen game, the pass game, and I think a win is imminent for the Colts this week.
So
you guys sold me. I'll bet the Colts.
as like the square of like kind of the group and like just kind of just being a square NFL better in general, I would totally, anyone that bets NFL and is sharp and like puts out plays and bets a lot of money, absolutely it's Colts or nothing. Like because the line to the average NFL better makes no sense. People, the Patriots are, top seed in the AFC. They're coming off a bunch of wins. The line makes no sense to the average bettor, so you have to lay the points with the Colts. I totally understand that. So from a sharp perspective, I don't see any people that are like super sharp being like, I'm going to take the Patriots here because it's too obvious and the line tells you everything you need to know about the game.
The last thing I'll say about this game is, I go to school in Baltimore, but surprisingly, I live with all Patriots fans. Very weird. All Patriots fans, and they all are like the diehards. They think that they're peaking too early, but they are impressed by the team, but they think that this run is like, all right, we did our thing mid-season, and we might be at our peak right now. Because I don't know, they that's what they were saying, and looking at it from the outside, it might be true. I know they're coming off a bye, but I like the Colts this week. So, anything else in this game?
No, you guys sold me. I'll bet the Colts. Let's do it.
All right, here we go, Andy. I like the Jets.
Really? Wow. I don't hate it. Listen, if there was one way that you can only go Jets in this game. You can't lay 9.5 with the Dolphins. It's the only way that you can go. It wasn't on my short list, but that would be the side for me for sure. You can't. Come on.
This is one of the games I bet already. The Dolphins on this little mini run they've had. They've beat the Jets, the Texans, the Panthers, and maybe the Jaguars. That was their
last time they played the Jets, it was a 7-point game.
Yeah, Jalen Waddle's also out.
Good point.
I'm not saying the Jets are immortal lock, but I did bet him on the money line a little bit. I did bet him a little bit.
I like that. Okay, interesting. I like that play. I like that play. That's my
type. Yeah, you like ugly, shitty New York teams laying a bunch of points, like giving a bunch of points. So Ed, what do you think about tonight's game? I know you're not betting it, but like if you had to pick a side here, I'm gonna say you like the Chiefs.
Yeah, I like the Chiefs. I've never given up on the Chiefs. I always thought that. I still have a lot of futures tied up in like if there's a Chiefs Packers Super Bowl, which I think is very possible, I will be a very rich man at the end of the season. I think the Chiefs are awesome. I think this is a good spot for them. They have already played the Chargers this season and the Chargers won. I don't really believe too much in like in-season revenge, but I do think when you have a divisional game like this, it's very difficult to beat a team twice during the regular season, especially in a divisional matchup. And the Chiefs were kind of really trying to find their footing at that time when they played the Chargers. I'm not saying the Chargers got lucky, but the Chiefs were really still trying to figure out their offense. Mahomes didn't look right. And now the Chiefs are kind of finding their form. So I would definitely lean Chiefs in this game. It's not a bet for me though, because I'm high on the Chargers too long term. I think they're a pretty good team. I think they're a playoff team, and I could definitely see this being a field goal game, especially if it's a higher scoring game. So I lean Chiefs, but not a play for me.
Same exact boat. I lean Chiefs. I couldn't quite get there on the Chiefs. We got a comment that said Chiefs and under look really tasty. I'm on the over 50. I don't hate that under 54, but I got the 50 while it was at 50. So that's my thoughts there.
So what are your other games you like, Andy? What other games are you thinking about?
You just want the goods, huh? All right. I'm gonna give you
we talked about every game. Okay.
I'll just give you the other 4 games that I was thinking about that I like that I haven't made a move on. What do you guys think about the Steelers? No?
We were talking about that. It was just seems so.
Well, this line makes no sense.
Oh man, this is a game.
The Titans are a better team. It's a pick-em. You take the better team. Yeah, they absolutely are the better team.
Okay, I lean Steelers. All right, that's
that totally makes sense. I totally understand. But
what do you guys think about the Ravens getting 5? Lamar's playing.
Is he? He didn't practice today.
Nah, he's fine. He'll play.
Yeah. That's what we said. If Lamar is playing, I think the Ravens could win this game. I go to a lot of Ravens games. It's a sneaky, tough place to play as a road team. Um, the Packers have been immaculate against the spread this season, and just based off numbers, that's just gonna come back to average. So I do like the Ravens getting 5.5, especially if Lamar's playing.
Do you think
they could
this
win.
is? How much of the line do you think is factored in the speculation with Lamar? Like, do you think this is a Lamar line or more of a Huntley line?
I feel like it's got to be at least 2.5, 3 points. I don't know. I don't
It's
know.
a
I feel
weird
like
line.
Yeah.
5.5. It's such a dead number too.
Yeah, it's dead number,
Yeah.
I would say. But yeah, I would say that the Cowboys, excellent against the spread earlier in the season, that kind of regress. Do the Packers, are they just like an against the spread wagon all year and cover this number? I don't know, but it's a dead number, and everything comes down to if Lamar Jackson is playing or not.
Well, I'm telling you right now, no team is going to go like 13-3 against the spread.
Yeah.
What are the Packers, like 10-3?
I think they have one. Let me look right now. Let me look. Packers ATS.
Because this game's in Baltimore, guys. So on a neutral field with Lamar, are the
11-2.
Packers, yeah, I like the Ravens, guys. I like the Ravens. That might be a play.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna have to put out plays. I mean, people are like, kind of.
I know people have been. I get more DMs now about football than golf. It's crazy.
So how are you doing with no golf? Are you genuinely miss there being a tournament to really handicap every week?
Well, I spent a lot of time researching the Majors podcast that I did. Go guys, check that out if you haven't already, Inside Golf Podcast. And I've been doing these Twitter spaces with Rick that kind of keep me fun. But no, man, I'm not like you guys. I love the break. I love movies. So I've been catching up on movies and television shows that I didn't get to watch throughout the year. And trust me, by January 1st, I will feel like, yes, I do miss it, Brian, to answer your question, but I don't crave it. It's a perfect amount of off season for me. Like, I'm going to come back hungry, firing on all cylinders. I've already started to do some prep work for the Tournament of Champions. It's a perfect off season for me.
It is nice being able to catch up on some other things and having Monday and Tuesday.
Except you refuse to watch the best show on television.
Yeah, no, I've been really deep into The Sopranos, but I do need to watch Succession. I only have one episode left of The Sopranos, so I might, turn the corner a little bit. But I'm busy, so it's tough to just kind of dive into a show. But this would be the time to do it with no golf. But yeah, I mean it's tough, and I couldn't be more excited to see Tiger Woods play this weekend. And I know you're excited to cover it, and I'm looking forward to your push notifications on the Score app, which I love getting.
Wait, 2 more quick questions before we go, because I'm hungry too. The other 2 games, but I was thinking about Saints plus 11, and I was thinking about Seahawks.
We talked about. I like the Rams. He told me you like the Seahawks. I like the Rams, but you could definitely sell me on the Saints plus 11 divisional game. Okay. They already beat them. Saints already beat them. I feel like that does give a little bit more revenge factor to Tampa Bay, especially if they're trying to get that 1 seed, which is still up for grabs. I feel like there's no letdown from the Bucs. I just would pass or nothing. I mean, Bucs or nothing, probably. I don't know. I'm not going to get there on any side on this game, but.
Yeah, and then Seahawks, Rams off a excellent primetime game win. You have to take the points with the Seahawks here, right?
That's what I was thinking.
I get it.
Yeah,
I get it, but
thinking. Short week too.
I said short week, but they're home again, so I don't feel like it's going to be that much of a factor. Odell is out, and I feel like it should be taken for more than people may take it for. Odell is he matters in my opinion, and he proved it last week. But I still think the Rams can cover this game. They haven't really started to roll yet, and they're still a really good team in my opinion, and a Super Bowl contender in my opinion. So I feel like if the Rams just started their peak last week, it's a perfect timing. And if they do start peaking into the playoff season, no one's really going to be surprised. But Russell Wilson, you can't count him out. Probably won't be getting there on any side, but if I had to go, I would pick the Rams to cover the spread.
Okay, that's fair. Maybe I'll hold off on the Seahawks and Steelers, but I'm in on the Ravens after I
Colts.
saw they were 10-2 against the spread, and I'm in on the Colts too.
No,
So-
Andy, don't second guess yourself.
Yeah.
You have that record.
So-
you are one of the best.
So, question here: are you cutting it off at the playoffs? You're taking your 60% NFL season, and you're not going to include playoff because you got to cap the playoff games. I mean,
Yeah, no, of course I'll include it.
so
But,
you're
yeah.
no, I didn't know if you wanted to, cut it at the end of the season.
Well, for my records, what I'll do is I'll keep track of what my record was in the regular season so I can boast next year this is my regular season record in case I boof the playoffs. But I don't think I
which you
will.
won't.
I won't boof the playoffs.
Breaking news: Rams have 25 players on the COVID-19 list. This was 6 minutes ago.
So
6 minutes
do
ago,
we-
8
so do
players
we
just
take the
added,
Seahawks?
including Von Miller. That's definitely news. So I probably just won't be betting that. But if you like the Seahawks, I would not second guess yourself and go bet that.
Yeah, I'm starting to see 4.5 4s pop up. So
This was at
part of it.
7. This moved from 7 to 4.5 to 5.5 today. This was very weird. So
Interesting.
yeah. So anything else you guys want to say?
No,
looking
that's
forward
it.
to
That's it for
seeing
me,
you
boys.
guys on Sunday, and we can hang and have some beers. And
Yes.
yeah, you guys
Sunday-
are my besties. Love you guys.
Sunday
Later,
we'll be
boys.
together. Tuesday night, tune in to us featuring PGA Tout talking the PGA Tour season. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes,
Got to plug
yeah.
that. And if you have any questions about the NFL, be sure to DM any one of us. Peace out. Have a good weekend, everyone.